So without a doubt, the Anthem community has had a rough time lately for sure, and we're going to be talking about brand new updates from Bioware, some new responses about the Kotaku article. We're going to be talking about the next live stream. Also, that Kotaku article went out. It stirred up a lot of discussion between Bioware, the player base, and Jason Schreier, who wrote the article, actually spoke to some more Bioware employees after the article went live. We have some more stuff from him, and then a bunch of other updates as well. So, hey everyone, what's up? Open World Games here. Hope you all are doing good today, and let's dive into the latest happenings around Anthem. I promised you guys I would keep you updated about this game, whether it was good news or bad news, so let's dive in and see what we have here today. So first up, about the live stream, Jesse Anderson, community manager on Anthem, says this: I've seen some people asking if there is going to be an Anthem live stream today, and the answer is no. We're working on when exactly the next live stream will be to show the new content coming in our big April update. So it's going to be brand new content again that's going to be shown off. Most likely the Sunken Stronghold. That's going to be my guess, so stay tuned for that. But no new live stream. Doesn't seem like it's going to even be happening this week, of course. So I would honestly expect mid-April, maybe even later at this point, considering how much work they have to do. So we'll see what happens. That's me speculating. But moving on, this post was posted by Henry O'Rourke, who says this: board is overflowing with how bad the loot is and how embarrassing this game is. Not one comment from the devs to reassure or address things. And he goes on to say this game is the biggest meme I have ever seen. It's a complete mockery. Maybe if you would listen to the people that go through ultimate frustration, the people actually still playing, others left long ago because of the same things. And the man who saved Diablo, you wouldn't be starting at a dead IP. Could you comment on anything relevant instead of cherry-picking tasks that avoid major criticisms? And we do get a response from AJ, community manager of Bioware, who says this: we are still reading, still preparing for the next things to come. As we've seen growing frustration when we reply to threads without a concrete answer we're ready to share, we are just trying to avoid frustrating anyone with teases. I hope you all know your input is still very much appreciated, and we'll share news as soon as we have it. I just don't want this to turn into another round of thank you for your feedback, and instead wait to share when we have something solid to point to you. So there you have it. That's the response from Bioware, basically on why they have essentially gone dark on certain things with Anthem. And then there's been some miscommunication, of course. You guys know that there's been miscommunication about the vanity chest and, the UI bugs and so on and so forth. So I think that's another reason why the communication has kind of died off here. So they're tightening up the communication, it seems, going forward. But we definitely need to hear from Bioware. We need to hear from them very soon, in my opinion, and more often if possible. It seems like a lot of the developers are kind of afraid to tweet out anything just in case, or just like respond out on Reddit just in case they say something wrong. Because at this point, a lot of the stuff that they say basically ends up in the news. Alright, so next up, Coham says this: I really hope all the issues with Anthem are resolved and we can all enjoy the game together and get back to friendly banter with Bioware on Reddit and social media. All this hostility is no fun. Sad face. Dude, I totally agree with you. Remember when games used to be fun, about having fun? And then Bio Camden of Bioware says this: me too, but you're right. The first part is on us. We have to resolve this problem first. So, he says it like it is. He knows that there's a problem, and they need to get it resolved. And they need to get it resolved very, very quickly. Again, I don't want this to be a Battlefront 2 thing where it takes like a full 2 years for anything super meaningful to happen with, Anthem. Alright, so Jason Schreier of Kotaku, again, who wrote the article, that controversial article about the happenings around Bioware and what exactly happened to Anthem. It was definitely very insightful. And it shows that I think personally the gaming industry needs to change as a whole. It just sounds like a lot of these teams are being worked to death. That's just my opinion from what I have seen. But hopefully, Bioware gets things situated here. But Jason Schreier, says this: I've spoken to several current and former Bioware employees since my article went live today, including some I hadn't interviewed earlier. General consensus has been sadness and disappointment at Bioware's statement, which read as disheartening to those who hoped for change. So, boy, I would love to be a fly on the wall at Bioware. I can't even imagine what is going on over there. right now. At the end of the day, I just hope they can. I do hope they can pull together with this game. Again, one of the big warning signs, of course, with this game in terms of progressing forward was the vanity chest. For me, that was like a big red flag when those were released. I was like, what is happening here? That is not cool. So let's hope that April isn't a total fiasco and doesn't disappoint. All right, so let's keep going here. Baked Brownie says this: I really want to be sympathetic about the more difficult to solve bugs, but it's made so difficult when no one seems to be taking the easy wins, like sorting out the loot situation or even just having a clear discussion about what the reservations are to hitting on the Switch and what you're doing about it. I don't know exactly. That's a confused sentence. But anyways, I suspect I speak for a lot of the community here, but not talking about the big issue in a more transparent way. And I'm sorry, but from this side of the conversation, we're looking into it, is not transparency, makes otherwise understandable issues just more fuel to the fire. And we did get a response here from Biocam. He says this: I hear ya, but as I've said before, loot drop rates and reward systems aren't a topic that I can weigh in on. The decisions around loot are actively being worked on and discussed every day, but they aren't being made on the gameplay team. We are focused on creating the content you interact with during the moment-to-moment gameplay: javelins, abilities, weapons, creatures, combo, status effects, masterwork functionality, combat systems, etc. I expect that the community team and studio leadership will post updates as soon as we have more to share on loot. So it sounds like there's a gameplay team, a content creation team, if you would, that's focused on creating the new content right now. And again, they have nothing to really do with quality assurance. From that statement, from what I get, and again, I'm speculating here, is that Bioware is just understaffed in terms of nailing down a lot of these bugs and stuff. And I've seen this time and time again with a lot of these AAA games. And the rumor was from the Kotaku article from the investigation, they clearly said that they did not have the staff. It wasn't even near the amount of people like on the Division 2 and other big games like Destiny. So that could be a big playing factor into why things could be taking so long to getting fixed properly, because a lot of stuff is just not getting fixed right now with the loot. It's going to take like months. Even that was said by head of live service that they expect that to be like months of investing to actually get the loot to where they want it to be. And it just shocked everyone to hear that, considering that the game has been worked on for years. So wow. But anyway, there was also another really interesting article posted by Polygon today. It says, the press is not your enemy, Bioware. Gaming's latest overwork controversy deserves to be known. And it basically, describes how Bioware reacted to the situation and that they need to look internally to resolve a lot of these issues. And, about the overworking stuff, I've said time and time again that I'm just not a fan of hearing about that at all. So that's not cool. But, there's also the sentiment I've heard as well that it's not the full story within the Kotaku article, that apparently some devs are happy at Bioware, but who knows what's going on really. They interviewed 19 people at Bioware, but I'm sure that there's been issues, obviously, considering what has happened with Anthem. But also, a former dev did weigh in. A former dev of Bioware who actually worked on Mass Effect Andromeda. This is definitely some very interesting stuff right here. So let's take a look. So he goes on to say the following, pretty much the video game industry in a nutshell. And he highlights that it says, it's depressing how an industry built around fun and joy inflicts so much misery on its creators. Now he goes on to say something interesting. And I've seen this so many times from AAA dev studios. It's unreal, and it's one of the reasons why No Man's Sky exists, which that ended up being stressful as can be, just as stressful as any AAA game. But Manvira says this: I appreciate the kind words, everyone. I'm in a really good place mentally with my own game studio, gearing up for an announcement this year, funding coming soon, and big things on the way. Thanks to my therapist and doctors for helping me get out of the bad place I was in post Mass Effect Andromeda. So you can see how much of an effect these games can have on developers, to put your life into the game and then to have such disappointment as the end result is just devastating. It would be absolutely devastating, of course, and it would definitely affect you mentally, no doubt. But I've seen, like I've said, I've seen developers from AAA studios say, screw it, you know what, I am quitting this AAA crunch, this work crunch, and I'm going to start up a indie studio. You've seen that so many times. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. many times. And again, I believe that's one of the reasons why No Man's Sky exists. But that even proved to be insanely stressful as well. So, yeah. You can see how stress is all around the gaming industry, man. But also, you know, there was some updates about health bug problems. You know, they're looking at that as well going forward. And then you can see some of the other upset responses here. This one has like 3,000 upvotes. It says, to Bioware executive leadership, you stole a whole lot of money from us and we deserve a real and candid response about how you're going to turn the ship around. So I think people want a new roadmap on how things are going to be fixed. I think they want to hear a structured roadmap where it says, this is what we're doing for the loot, this is when we expect to get it fixed, this is what we're going to be doing for the repetitive missions, this is what we're doing about other bugs and other issues, connection issues. And they want, you know, I think the community wants a proper timeline on all of this. Rainbow Six Siege, it went through that health period, remember? And I think it did the game good. I remember being shocked. I was like, they're calling this update the health update? I was like, wow, what has happened to gaming? But it did definitely actually work out for Rainbow Six Siege. They have still a very large audience right now. And that game, overall, I think that game has been well received overall as of today. So, you know, it shows that things can be fixed. It's just, it takes the manpower. That's the thing. Is EA going to be willing enough to invest in quality assurance and manpower? I think that's one of the biggest discussions that needs to be really talked about EA in particular, because even Star Wars Battlefront 2 was greatly understaffed for a very long time. It's taken forever for the really good content to finally appear. So, yeah, hopefully they can up the staff, but I don't know. You know, we'll see. It seems like, you know, a lot of these companies are focused very much on what makes the money. The Battle Royales, the mobile platform, and free to play. So that's basically the future of a lot. That's how a lot of the gaming studios, gaming publishers, I should say, are thinking anymore. But, yeah, stay tuned here to Open World Gaming for more updates about Anthem. Let me know what you guys make of this recent fiasco. I would definitely call it a fiasco for sure, but I hope to bring you some good news, you know, eventually. I am looking forward to the Sunken Stronghold here in April. I just really want to see what that's about. Hopefully, I can't imagine a Stronghold disappointing. That's one thing that I do enjoy are the Strongholds. But hopefully they get like some sort of better system in this game for earning rewards in-game, because right now it's just completely random. And they need to have something more centered and focused going forward. But guys, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned here for more Anthem and open world gaming goodness. And, of course, Borderlands 3. Take care, everyone. And see you next time.